Well, let's take you live to Durban now, where MK party leader Jacob Zuma is attending a youth golf development event. Newzroom Afrika's Newzroom Modise is there tracking the story for us. Newzroom, and as we always do, we use these events to ask some pertinent questions.
Indeed, you are correct, Michelle. We did catch up with the former state president at the Durban Magistrates Court earlier, where he was attending Bonginkosi Khanyile's trial with regards to the July unrest in 2021. And we did attempt to have a conversation with the former president, but he wasn't quite keen on speaking to the media, talking to the fact that he's here to listen in on what's happening in court and would not like to speak on anything. We followed him all the way here to this particular golf day, where we also just want to know from him, number one, it is the anniversary this week of that unrest and of his incarceration. Those are one of the burning questions that we had for the former president, and as well issues around the provincial commission and Lieutenant General Mchunu and his explosive media briefing just last Sunday. But I do have with me Dr. John Hlophe, who I will pose some of those questions to. Thank you very much, Dr. Hlophe, for agreeing to speak to us.
Thank you very much.
Firstly,
we're a team of all MPs in the National Assembly representing Umkhonto we Sizwe Party.
All right, thank you, Dr. Hlophe. I firstly want to ask you, before I get into the issue of Lieutenant General Mchunu, this week is the anniversary of that 2021 July unrest, where we saw many people lose their lives, but it is also the anniversary of, your president being incarcerated. Maybe reflect on this for us.
Well, insofar as the president was unlawfully arrested and incarcerated, it remains a sore point for us as members of Umkhonto we Sizwe. First of all, he committed no crime. There is no crime in law called contempt of a tribunal. It's always contempt of court. The Constitutional Court, furthermore, by having the president convicted by the Constitutional Court, which is the final court of appeal in the country, the Constitutional Court effectively took away from President Zuma his right to appeal. He was convicted by the highest court in the land. He could not appeal to any other court which has jurisdiction in the matter. So as far as we're concerned, as far as Umkhonto we Sizwe is concerned, it's a painful reminder of injustice in this country 31 years after independence. No one saw it coming. So it's a painful reminder of what has happened.
And thank you very much, Dr. Hlophe, for that. Now getting to what is on the lips of everybody in the country, that explosive media briefing by Lieutenant General Mchunu this weekend, this past weekend, and I know that the MK has also been one of those parties that has been very vocal around the issue.
As MK party, we have been extremely vocal relating to this issue. First of all, Commander David Skosana, who is an MP, he is a team leader or a portfolio committee leader responsible for justice. He was asked by the party to go to Brook Lane Police Station in Pretoria, and he formally laid criminal charges against Minister Senzo Mchunu for attempting to defeat the ends of justice. And the second charge, I think, related to perjury. Perjury means lying under oath. Minister Senzo Mchunu is a pathological liar. He is known for lying. He has lied in Parliament at least on 2 occasions in my presence. Firstly, he gave us a non-existing contact number, right, relating to what he called hotline. We immediately phoned, and it was established that that number does not exist. Guess what he did? Instead of apologizing, he walked out of Parliament together with his deputy on a pretext of attending to an emergency. To this very day, we have not been furnished with the correct cell phone number. Secondly, and most importantly, when child Cwecwe was violated in the Eastern Cape, Minister Mchunu lied. He said the DNA of the headmaster of the school had in fact been obtained. We all know he was lying, because subsequent investigations indicated clearly that the DNA sample was yet to be obtained from the headmaster. Yet the minister had already gone to Parliament and lied and said the DNA sample of the headmaster as a person of interest had in fact been obtained. So we're clearly dealing with a serial liar, and General Mkhwanazi has revealed to this country on a blow-by-blow basis instances of where he has lied. I would like to hand over now to my fellow esteemed colleagues. You may ask them as well.
He's lied about Brian Mokatse. He said he never knew him. He came to Parliament and he said he never knew him. Yet we find evidence in 2017 that Brian Mokatse was actually one of the lobbyists in the Northwest Province for the CR17 campaign. Senzo Mchunu himself was a lobbyist for the CR17 campaign in KwaZulu-Natal. So it's disingenuous for him to have said that he didn't know him, because they were both raising money for the CR17 campaign. Be that as it may, we find it also as MK Party, we find it quite strange that there are certain quarters like Paul O'Sullivan that has suddenly come out attacking a man who is exposing something that every South African has always thought about, the capture of the police. Today, we find that the same police, which is meant to protect us, is now working, the leaders are working with known drug syndicates. So it makes you wonder that in a local police station, when people say that policemen are going to known drug dens in their police vehicles with police uniforms, not to arrest the drug peddlers, but to collect bribes, it then makes you wonder, this rot, which starts right at the top, has now moved down to communities. And that's how our country is being torn apart. Cyril Ramaphosa is going to come in defense of Senzo Mchunu. There's no doubt about it. Because remember, Senzo Mchunu was his right-hand man in securing funding and in building support for his for the elections, which took place in 2017. In that election, that was also a crooked election. They cooked it. They won by 57 votes, and it's become clear now that delegates of the ANC were actually bought. And the money that they were bought with actually seemed to have come from drug syndicates. So right now, the country should be saying, what Judge spoke about, he spoke about the judiciary being somewhat captured, even the Constitutional Court, especially in the matter of the July case involving our President Zuma. Do you know what the similarities is between President Zuma's case and General Mkhwanazi's exposure? It shows you that there is a covert team that's working underground with a hidden agenda to use state apparatus, to use the police, to use the judiciary to advance a political agenda. And this is something that we as MK Party and every South African should be concerned about.
As the MK, I want to jog your memory quite a bit, Dr. Hlophe, if you'll allow me. You'd remember in 2011, when the name Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi came up, it was because of a relationship that he had with the former president, who is your president right now, Mr. Jacob Zuma. And at the time, he had replaced Bheki Cele, who was suspended for corruption worth 1.78 billion rand. Now, at that time, yes, he was a police commissioner at that time, and Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi was then the one who was acting on his behalf. But 2 days after that, 2 days after he was appointed, the president then promoted him from Major General to Lieutenant General, which is something that had many speaking about the relationship that they had. At the time, it seemed good. And then Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi later on, after he had lost his job, which seemingly he claims was because he had found some dirt on another senior politician, he was let go by former President Jacob Zuma. I'm just jogging your memory around this, and he then later surfaced in KwaZulu-Natal as a provincial commissioner. This would have been a question that I would have asked the president himself, but you know, that relationship between the lieutenant general before and after, which seems to have soured, your response to this?
Well, I'm unable to comment on that relationship. I'm not aware of it. I'm not aware of the facts relating thereto. I cannot comment with respect on something that I don't know.
But we'll
I
talk to you about what's
appreciate.
happening currently. And I find that, why is it that we seem to go beyond what is happening currently? What General Mkhunazi informed us about should be a matter that we should all be focusing on and not allow ourselves to be distracted from anything else.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Those are members of parliament within the NK, Dr. John Hlophe there, just giving his reflection, number one, on the anniversary of the July unrest, saying that the president shouldn't have been incarcerated for contempt of, something that's not a court, but something that's a process that's on the side. And quite interestingly, when it comes to the issues of Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, him, pinpointing the Police Minister Senzo Mchunu as a pathological liar. For now, Michelle, I'm going to throw back to you in the studio.